Shalom, everybody. Welcome back to Insights in the Parsha of the Week, Parshat Balak. Something very interesting already in the beginning of the Parsha, when Balak sends to Bilaam messengers to bring him to curse the Jewish people, because he heard that his curses are very successful. He helped also Sichon and Og to become kings, and now he's worried that the Jews are about to enter the Holy Land, and he wants Bilaam to curse them. So Bilaam tells the ministers who came, stay overnight, and let's see what Hashem says to me. So chapter 22, verse 9 reads like this: Vayavo Elokim el Bilam. So the Lord came to Bilam in his dream, obviously. Vayomer mi hanashim ha'ele imach. Who are these people who are with you? Okay. So it's a question. Hashem doesn't know? Of course he knows. So Rashi points this out. Rashi says, Mi hanashim ha'ele imach. Who are these people who are with you? Lehat otoba. Hashem, his intent was to mislead, to fool Bilam. Amar, so that he should say the following. And he did say the following. He did think the following reasoning, Bilam. Pa'amim she'en hakol galu fanav. So we see there are times that not everything is revealed before Hashem. Ein da'ato shaveh alav. It doesn't have a consistency in knowledge at all times. There's room to have error because there's room that he's not watching. So afani, so to me, Bilam said, Er'eh et she'ochal lekalel velo yavin. I'll find the time that I can curse the Jewish people and he won't notice. Okay? So that's this verse number 9. The next verse immediately. Vayomer Bilam, the answer. Hashem asked Bilam, who are these people? Verse 10. Vayomer Bilam el Elokim, and Bilam said to the Lord, Balak ben Tzipor melech Moab shalach elai. Balak, the son of Tzipor, who is the king of Moab, he sent after me to come. So Rashi, take a look at Rashi. Rashi, verse 10. Balak ben Tzipor. Afal pi she'eni chashuv be'enecha. Even though I, Bilam, am not important in your eyes, Hashem, chashuvani be'eni hamelachim. I am considered important in the eyes of the kings. What in the world? Who even said to you that you're not important? Why are you jumping, Bilam? Oh, I may not be important in your eyes, but did Hashem even say anything to initiate that idea? Who entered into your mind that this was an item? And even if it was, Rashi should point it out. Rashi should mention, like between verse 9 and 10, say that Hashem was indicating to Bilam that you're not important, and Bilam caught onto it and said, okay, I'm not important in your eyes. At least the king of Moab is sending after me, so I'm important in his eyes. That the whole Drush is learned out because the verse reads Melech Moab. That's what Rashi points out, because he's sending out to me, so I'm important in his eyes. But who said in the first place that you're not important in Hashem's eyes? Who said that? It's like you see many times, these arguments here in Israel between the secular Jews and religious Jews. So all of a sudden the secular Jew says, what, we're not important? Only you guys are important? And the religious Jews, they laugh and say, but we didn't even say anything to you guys. Why are you bringing that up? It's like a mentality attitude. Oh, I may not be important in your eyes, but we didn't say anything. Here also, Hashem didn't mention anything. The answer is unbelievable. What was in the first verse? Hashem gave room for error. What was the room for error? To allow Bilam to feel that Hashem is not watching all the time. What does that mean? If Hashem is not supervising and there's no providence all the time, that means he doesn't really care about me. Because if he really cared about me, he would be watching me 24/7. But now that there's room that he's not watching me, so I'm not important. And if I'm not important, so then I lash out. I'm not important in your eyes. I make that conclusion. The conclusion came because Hashem gave room for error. Let's better understand this whole idea based on what Rebbe Nachman says in lesson 24 of the Likutey Moharan. In lesson 24 of the Likutey Moharan, Rebbe Nachman says that everyone in life has to face a type of a wall called the Keter. And this wall is what separates a person from coming to light and salvation that he desperately needs to make it in life. There's a wall that he has to pass through. It's a test. This wall bounces back a person. it does what's called in the Zohar's language a betisha, a smash backwards. Person is set back, okay? Now this happens especially in the realm of holiness when a Jew is seeking to come closer to Hashem. But there has to be what's called zeh u'mat zeh, a parallel even in the negative world. So even people who are pursuing worldly matters also have to have their type of a smash, if you want to say. Okay? In our context, Hashem was testing Bilaam. Because in the end, Hashem did want Bilaam to come back and to do tshuva and not to do evil, not to do wicked. So Hashem set up a scenario of a smash back. What was the smash back? That a room for error to believe that Hashem is not supervising 24 hours, 24/7. That was Latato. Hashem is saying, who are these people? What, God? You don't know? Like, that's Bilaam's one trying to figure out. You don't know what's happening? Why? What in the world? You're supposed to be the all-knowing God. It was a smash back. It's like a setback that a person feels, Hashem doesn't care about me. Hashem is not concerned about me, because if he were, he would be supervising everything I'm going through. Even the miserable situations and the negative situations. He's not. That was the test of Bilaam. Failing the test, Rebbe Nachman says in lesson 24, is that you don't accept the setback properly. Accepting it properly is through joy, through simcha, and when a setback hits, the normal instinctive reaction is to activate what's called the ratzon. That when a Jew gets a setback, he doesn't say, oh, Hashem doesn't want me, it's finished, it's over. He says, Hashem, I just wanted to be close to you, I just wanted to come back to you, that's all I want, I just want to be a good person. And he starts crying about his distance. That's what Hashem wants to squeeze out of a person when there's a setback. As opposed to a person who has haughtiness and he's depressed and he's not happy, he gets a setback. It's not for me. Hashem doesn't want me. Hashem doesn't need me. So in Bilam's case, Hashem gave room and error to lehat oto, that to fool him. And it was a test of the Keter, pushing him back. He was expected to say, what? God is not knowing? It can't be. It can't be. You know, Hashem is asking, who are these people? In his category, in his level, this was a setback. He did not pass the test, and that came out in the next Rashi, that I'm not important in your eyes, but at least I'm important in the eyes of the king of Moab. Why are you saying that? Why do you feel I'm not important in Hashem's eyes? It's only because Hashem gave room of error for you to think that he's not watching 24/7. So in our parsha, Bilaam failed his test of the Keter in his area, in his aspect. He was expected not to lash out, and so I'm not important in your eyes. So I go elsewhere. I look elsewhere to get attention and love and honor and everything. He's supposed to say, what? God, you're all-knowing. It can't be that you're pushing me away and that you're trying to draw me to other areas of life I don't want. I want you, because I know I'm a prophet of the Lord. I'm a prophet of God. Even Bilaam, Hashem allowed his divine presence to rest over Bilaam. Such a filthy, low-life Gilgul of Lavan, okay? But Hashem allowed for this to happen for the sake of free choice and to give a chance to the nations, that Hashem said, I did allow my divine spirit to rest upon the nations. There were prophets. Bilaam, but he failed, right? The main failure is already illustrated in these psukim that Rashi is explaining. That he began to believe that Hashem is not watching all the time, because he's asking me, who are these men with you? And that was the opening for Bilaam to lash out and say, okay, I'm not important in your eyes. And once that happens, once a person feels he's not important in Hashem's eyes, so then he goes on to do what he wants to do. So it comes to show you that Bilaam was given a chance to have Hashem's compassion upon him. But he let down the opportunity. He lashed out and said, Hashem doesn't care about me, Hashem doesn't know what's happening, and therefore I'm not important in his eyes. But that was the whole test. And that's the test of every Jew also, that when we have a setback, to believe, not to think, to believe what I see, so I'm having a setback, that means Hashem doesn't care about me, and he's just letting me rot like this, chas v'shalom. Ajaba, the opposite. It's in order to bring out the inner essence of a Jew. We should be zocheh to have this proper attitude throughout all the tests we go through in life, all the setbacks, all the doubts we have that Hashem is actually caring. He cares about me. He watches me. Look at all the suffering I see, people dying, this, that, divorces, and all types of terrible things happening. So where's Hashem? People ask. That's the test. That's the whole test. Don't ask where's Hashem. Realize that you're being tested. That's why it's happening. And if you manage successfully to take the setback properly, Hashem will shine His infinite light into your life. Shabbat Shalom Umbrach.